This is a drill, and it's one of the few drills that I'll actually do. And it might look simple, but it's not so easy. And the reason I practice this sometimes, especially on a new table, is to dial in the speed of the table. It's also a great reminder about angles and why you always have to be conscious of getting the right angle. If we take this one ball shot, it has to be shot with low right hand English because you want to spin it high on that rail, right about to the third diamond. And you want to come up high on an angle on the two ball. Other than that, if you go too long and hit the second diamond, you're going to come up way too low on that two ball. And then you're going to have a real hard time getting on the three. So let's just look at the one ball shot first. The easiest way to run this drill is to get the same exact shot on the three ball that you had on the one ball. So you want to be right about here when you shoot the three. So this is, now you can just stun it up when you shoot the two if you get the right position. Or, you could spin, draw spin that one ball even more and come up higher on the rail. But if you do that, you're flirting with scratching right there. So that's why I don't do it. And a good thing, if you want to do it that way, you can go ahead and try it. But then when you shoot the two, you're going to have to draw two rails back on that three ball position, which, it's not the easiest shot in the world. So now we're here on the three ball. And do you remember the English we used on the one ball and bottom right? Well, this is kind of the opposite situation. On this one, we're using top left, because we want to get further down the table on this four ball shot, down to about the first diamond on this rail. Something got on my camera lens at the top left-hand corner, and it's hard to see up there. Sorry about that, and I should have cleaned it up before I started shooting, but I was in a hurry. A lot of people have problems on these shots, so we're going to zoom in a little bit, and I want to show you what the trick is here. We're putting extreme low left on this. You can do the same thing with high left, but it has to be both extremes. And we're going rail first. Just a hair before the three ball. We're going to hit the rail first. Now, if we take this three ball away, naturally this cue ball is going to go all the way back up table because of left-hand English. So what's happening here is when that cue ball leaves the rail, it's hitting the three ball in the exact position it needs to hit it to spin it. It's imparting that left-hand English clockwise spin to the three ball, and that's because it's actually hitting it on the side of the three ball and sending it down to the pocket. So yeah, the three ball is also spinning clockwise as it's going down the table, and that's what helps it grip the rail. We used to play $2 per rail banks, and these were ring games, so you'd have like 5 guys in a ring game, and each time you make a bank, you get $2 from each player per rail that you hit. So this little zinger here is worth 24 whoppers. $6 from each player times 4 more players. Yeah, $24. This is a $24 shot. It's a little bit tricky. You got to put left-hand English on it, but I would not put center left on it. And if you put top left on it, your cue ball is probably going to hit the object ball. So you probably don't want to do that either. But just play around with it. You'll get it. It's not as hard as it looks. It's actually a one pocket shot, but it comes in handy in 9-ball and 8-ball too. And in a case like this, I might shoot it because the 2-ball and the 3-ball is tied up. So, I mean, we could knock that out by shooting the 1-ball down the rail, but the 9-ball is just sitting there pretty, so we're going to give it a ride. Here's another situation that comes up, and you could say just bank the 1-ball into the 9-ball, don't worry about it. And the problem again is we have balls clustered up here with this 5 and this 8-ball. So the objective to shoot the 1-ball and to spin the cue ball down table into this side of the 2-ball and just make the easy combination on the 2 instead of making a hard combination from the 1 to the 9. We're going with the easy combination on the 2 to the 9. So this is a little deceiving. We're shooting this with top left-hand English. And a lot of people just don't really know what to do here. And what you're doing is spinning the cue ball 3 rails again, 4 rails actually. 1, 2, 3, yeah. We're going 4 rails on this. So again, it's top left to spin the cue ball clockwise and use the rails to help you get back down table. We got straight in on the 1, and we need to get right here on the 2. And this is shot with extreme bottom right because we're going to spin off. We want the cue ball spinning counterclockwise as it hits that 1 and as it comes all the way back to this rail. We need it spinning counterclockwise to send that cue ball down. Otherwise, if you put left-hand English on this, like a lot of people do because they get a little confused, it's going to come back on that rail and it's just going to die, or it's going to go in this angle right here and you're going to be stuck on the 2. So this one includes a bonus. I'm going to shoot the 2 and the 3, and I'll explain it more when we get to it. But as I shoot the 3, I want you to pay attention to what the cue ball is doing. You were probably watching the 3-ball, and that's cool, but so I'm going to rewind it, and we're going to shoot it again, and I want you to watch the cue ball. Just never mind the 3. I'll show you how I did that in the last shot in this video. Everyone should know the difference between a billiard and a carom, and these come up all the time, so you should practice these. This is a billiard, and this is a carom. In a billiard, the cue ball is doing all the work, and in a carom, the object ball is doing the work. Here's another table speed tester, and it's best to shoot this softly. So if you're going to put any English at all in this shot, because we're shooting it down here in this corner pocket, it's just going to be a hair of left. And all this works a whole lot better if you just shoot it softly or at pocket speed. A lot of people just slam this shot, and there's absolutely no reason to do it, and it just comes off that rail just at too tight of an angle. Most people shoot them too tight or too long and put too much English. It's just a hair of left-hand English here. Here's one from an old video I published on YouTube in 2017 and nobody watched. And I got 2 dislikes on it too. I don't know why. As you can see, we're in a funky position to get from the 6 to the 7. And we could just roll it up on the round, take the hard shot on the 7. But I want to get a little bit closer. And this is a little bit tricky and it takes a touch. And again, most people shoot this way too hard. Extreme top right hand English on this, and you really have to stroke the hell out of it. Now that does not mean you have to slam the hell out of it, because if you slam it, nothing's going to happen. It's just going to bounce off that round, come all the way back here. So here's what's going on with the cue ball, and I'll tell you how and why this is happening in a second. Here's the natural angle coming off the rail after you make the 6. So if you didn't put any English on it, the ball would just keep on going to the left side of the table and on that exact angle. And it's still doing that. It's still coming off the rail at that angle. But what's happening is, because of all the top English and because of all the right hand English, it's like a car drifting downhill, sliding downhill on the snow and ice, and spinning the tires forward, and it can't gain any traction at all, and that's because of the speed of the shot. You have to hit it with a little speed, but not too much. There's a fine line here. And again, after it comes off that rail, it's still spinning forward, and this would be the point where the cue ball slows down enough to gain enough traction on the cloth to grip it and begin doing what cue balls do and cloth does. Now, the better your cloth, the better the shot will work. If you're using cheap cloth, you're going to have a lot of problems performing this shot. So because of the right hand English and because of all that top hand English, it launches the cue ball in an arch and sends it down toward that rail. The only thing you really have to be careful about is the cue ball gripping too much and sending the cue ball right into that side pocket. You need to get around that side pocket.